Welcome back to the EAM Crypto channel. My name is Enrique, and today marks episode number 5 of the DeFi weekly recap. These have been really helpful to me. Hopefully they have been able to help you out in some way. The last 3 months of crypto were the absolute worst in the history of crypto, and we had a positive quarter and did not have a single losing month. And I like to think that it's because it shows that if you do defensive trading and disciplined trading and investing, even in tough times, there are ways to find value spots and make profitable moves. So this show is a way of trying to kind of dive into that a little bit, and I hope that it's been helpful to you guys. So there is so much to cover. I don't even know where to start, so I'm just going to jump into it. First and foremost is an announcement that I'm pretty excited about making. I was asked to join the team at Delta Finance as an advisor. It's my first time in an advisory role for any kind of crypto project. They have a lot of cool things that they're coming to the market with that I will be diving into in the weeks to come. They have some really cool partnerships with a bunch of players in the motorsport sector, and they have some cool NFTs and this really amazing game that they're integrating into the project. That's a play to earn racing game, and they have some really cool code that they kind of made their own. That's very similar to what Horde and Dex Finance is doing, and there's just a lot to cover with them. But I'm not doing this for the money, guys. I'm being very transparent. It actually doesn't pay very well, but I don't care about that. I just wanted to have the experience of being able to see what projects are doing behind the scenes, right? As investors, we're always trying to figure that piece out, and hopefully by joining this team in this advisor role, I'll be able to provide a lot more value to you guys and know-how of what happens behind the scenes with some of these really cool projects. So keep in mind that in the weeks to come, I'll be covering this project a little bit here and there. Don't worry, my channel is not going to become all about this token just because I'm part of the team, but I will be mixing in some stuff about them. I also wanted to throw a shout out before we get going into the charts to the guys over at Cardinal House. These guys are doing a lot of really cool things for crypto. Really like the guys, really like the team. And they have this really cool chess tournament coming out on July 9th. So go check out their website. I'll have the link below. And I'm actually going to be commentating a little bit for the Titano 100 Days Ventures match, which they asked me to come on and they asked me to pick one. I didn't know Grape Finance was going to be in the tournament. If I knew that, I may have picked them too, or I would have maybe flipped a coin. But I thought it'd be really fun to commentate 100 days. I know the guys there versus the mighty Titano. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Go check it out. They're going to have all these prizes and giveaways during the tournament. Really cool stuff. And then I did want to throw a shout out to Kyoto Protocol. Really cool that these guys are looking to integrate the carbon credit industry with the blockchain. They're trying to do something that's good for making the earth maybe greener, possibly. Excuse me, I just burped. But no, guys, really cool stuff with Kyoto Protocol, and they sold out their pre-sale 2.3 mil. 2.3 mil, sold it out. Really impressive stuff. So congrats to them, and we will be covering them in the weeks to come. Let's see how they do. And 2 things that I wanted to cover: 2 launches that are coming next week, and then one that it's coming up in about a little bit under 2 weeks. The first one is GuilderFI. As you can see here, 1 day, 22 hours. Go check out GuilderFI. They have the safe exit NFT that's really cool, and they're bringing some cool features to the market. So go check them out if you're interested in launches next week. And then if you're interested in a tomb fork that's launching next week, you can either check out my video that I just posted on them this past weekend, or go to their website, 8 Finance. They are going to start their gen pool in about 44 hours. So go check that out. And then last but not least, Liquid Capital. They're going to be doing their pre-sale on July 10th. So hope you have some dry powder, because there's some interesting projects coming up. Liquid Capital, $10 million raise is what they're looking to do. $10 million. Really exciting stuff. These guys are coming to market with something very new, very different than what we've seen before. Really just massive. So we'll see what happens there. So what else do we want to cover before the charts? I think that's about it. So sorry for the long monologue, but as usual in DeFi, there's always a lot to cover. All right, so there's a lot to cover. I'm going to start off with something we've been covering for 5 weeks now, which was in week 1, Tomb had an FDV of 20 million higher than wine. And I predicted that wine was going to come charging hard. Well, guess what happened? It was I think 13 million versus 33 million. And wine was able to sustain. As you can see here, it is at 12 million. And look, guys, where T share is 10 million. So there it is, officially. Wine took them over. It was a delta of negative 20 mil. Now they're up 2 mil, and they just sustained during these horrible, tough markets. They sustained. Imagine what wine would be doing if we were in the bullish market. So in order to celebrate that, because wine is the first tomb fork, grapevine is the first tomb fork that I ever invested in. It's how I kind of learned my chops, and I've been a holder ever since. So in order to do that, I thought we should do a little just celebration chant. So Ale, 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 ale. All right, there we go. That's enough of that. It's 100 degrees outside, so I won't be wearing this for a while. All right, guys, so let's get into a couple of charts in the Phantom ecosystem. The first one is D-Share. D-Share is doing something really, really cool. They are going to have this, or they're having this kind of like community-driven kind of I guess grassroots movement. I just heard about it today on Twitter. They DM me about it, letting me know that they're trying to do some things as a community to try to get back on peg and save this project, right? Because it looks like it needs saving from the chart. It looks pretty pitiful. I see some new lows here that we hadn't seen before, and I do see some stability, I guess you can say, but we'll see. But look, I mean, from a charting perspective, I mean, that they did come over this right here. It might be working, guys. So again, what they're doing, it's not like they're hiring a bunch of YouTubers like me to get the word out about the project or anything like that. They're just doing this kind of grassroots kind of thing. And I guess that's when they started doing it, is right before this big old green candle. I'm not sure. I only check my Twitter DMs once a day. So I'm not sure how long it was that they told me about it, but it looks like there's been some sell pressure ever since that big move. And pretty interesting to see that. So, I've talked a lot at length in the past about how much I like this team, and we'll see how this plays out. But technically, the chart, I mean, you can make a very strong argument that they broke out of a nasty little trend there. You really could. I mean, and this is on the 4-hour too. Here I see some higher lows than here. It might be working, guys. It might be working. Now, I will state this. This asset's up 72% in the last 24 hours. However, there's some red here. So, it was actually up a lot more than 72%. But, I wouldn't advise FOMOing into anything after a 72% rise. But we will see what happens. This is going to be something I want to keep my eye on. In these markets, it's very important to trade defensively and not FOMO into stuff. But there might be something cooking, something brewing here. So 277 is the price. It'll be interesting to see how that goes the rest of the week and month. And the other one that I wanted to cover in the Phantom ecosystem is Magik. Look, guys, Magik, in my opinion, Magik and M-Share, in my opinion, this asset is the most overlooked, undervalued asset that we cover on this channel. It just is. I don't understand why more people aren't using this. I get it in DeFi. It's about a lot of the projects and a lot of the investing or gambling, if you will, whatever it is. It's about the Degen aspect of it, but there's nothing wrong with putting in something a little more stable into the mix. This is one of them. Magik's auto compounder is, in my opinion, superior to DeFi. It does a lot more good for the project that it helps support with its auto compounder. Due to the fact that it burns 50% of the peg token, and DeFi doesn't do that, right? So I don't know, just something to keep in your in your view if you're looking at something that I think is undervalued. And look, guys, two things. Magik didn't pay me to say any of this. Nothing that I said today is because I was paid to do it. But I am a Magik holder, so keep that in mind. So I do want to be transparent that I am talking about an asset that I want a bit of. But I just don't understand why it keeps getting overlooked. So Magik and Degen, two projects to definitely keep your eye on. All right, so let's talk about Frozen Walrus. Frozen Walrus, I do not own any, and it's really my fault. I was actually not paying attention to the charts, not sure what happened, because I wanted to find a value spot with this asset, and I felt like I never really found it. I was a part of the gen pool, and then after the gen pool, I decided to wait for a value spot to get back in. And when this happened down here, and it went below peg, I remember I wasn't paying attention to the charts, and shame on me, kind of missed the boat there. And I guess I kind of missed the boat twice, because then when it did, you see here on June 2nd, then you see a higher low right there on June 13th. That would have been another beautiful spot. Actually, that's the spot I'm talking about. I was waiting here because I wanted to see where it was going to stabilize. Yeah, that's what happened. So around this time right here, I was waiting for stabilization, and I wasn't completely sure. I wanted to wait. And then here, where it did basically a higher low on a decent time frame, a few days later, I missed that. That would have been the perfect time to get in. And then I just kind of have been waiting for a value spot. Looks like, is this a double top? Not really. I mean, here there's a wick, here there isn't. Not sure. We'll see. It looks like it's still going, so can't really confirm this is a local high. From a technical aspect, it's still a very young asset. But look, guys, that is a hell of a trend. So I mean, hell of a trend. And yeah, I just kind of missed the boat here with this asset. I wish I had a better story to tell and that I didn't miss the boat. It'd be interesting to track this with this support line. Let's see if it holds, this trend line holds. So that could be one way of looking at it, basically stating that, hey, as long as this, well, we really want to draw it tight. We can make an argument that as long as it doesn't break that in the moving days, in the days like one, because one way that you can look at trading this asset is just kind of stating, well, that the time to get out would be if it, here, hold on, I'm trying to draw this while talking, that the time to get out is if it drops below this channel, right? And that would be the time to get out, but that could be a big drop still. I mean, right now it's at 221. Yeah, I mean, depending on when it happens, I mean, if it happens really quick, it could drop down about 10%. But that could be one way of looking at this. And again, I'm just drawing this on the fly. There's probably a much better way. I could draw it where it's no wicks. It's just the body. But even then, it's got a ways to go. There's a number of ways you can draw this channel, actually, accurately. But I mean, that's one way that you could do it. And again, traditional technical analysis is not always best when dealing with very young illiquid assets like this. But for reasons that I cannot understand still to this day, traditional technical analysis has been very, very solid with Tomb Forks. Don't ask me why. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if it stays on this channel. But if it does, keep this channel support, and I can draw it so many better ways. I mean, I can make it based on the wicks only. That would actually make it kind of give it a little bit more leeway there. I don't know. I'm gonna have to mess around with this when I'm not recording, but that could be one way to kind of look at this from a defensive way. If one were to want to take a bullish position now, and just know that if it falls out of the channel, then it could get ugly. But I don't know. We'll see. So again, guys, as you well know, I'm a very defensive trader. I play it safe. I don't FOMO. So I'm just going to stay patient here with Frozen Walrus and maybe look for a better spot. I don't know. But I've already missed on so much value and, whatever APRs they're paying. Crazy stuff. The other one that I wanted to cover is US Dibs. US Dibs, I did a video on them a couple weeks ago, and as expected, it's been solid. No surprises there. Dibs money has been around for many, many months. It's been stable. They don't pay the biggest rewards. Their missions are very low, but that's what we want, right? So in these weird, crazy times where you can't trust anything, you can't even trust the dollar. And well, actually, DXY is actually the only bullish chart right now, but in these days, it's really tough to figure out where you're going to park your money. So when you find an asset like US Dibs, It's been really nice to me. The only regret I have is not putting more. I put in 4K into it during the gen pool. And the reason why I did was just because of the fact that Dibs money has been so stable. So I'm going to keep watching that, and just I'm very happy with the performance. I'm actually thinking about doing a video on my positions with US Dibs, just so you guys see how profitable Tomb Forks can be if done right at the right value spots, and so on and so on. So yeah, so that covers it for Frozen Walrus and US Dibs. All right, so to wrap up today's video, let's talk about Titan and then Titano. And I have a little bit to say about Titano. So Titan, you guys have been asking me a ton in DMs about Titan because I was such a big part of the pre-sale marketing and just getting the word about it. And look, guys, they are doing what they said they would be doing as far as generating revenue from their decks, from their launchpad. That is happening. So that's the good news. The bad news is that the price action just sucks. It's bad. It's really frustrating to see this. As you can see here, this asset just looks as pitiful as I'll get out as far as the price action. So that's great that the revenue initiatives are happening. I think even maybe at a faster rate than the team may have thought. But it's just not equating to solid price action. So for us, the holders, this sucks, right? And I mean, I just see another low happening now. Maybe that will stabilize price action, but you know, it's great that we're getting the rebases and all, but if the rebases are less than what the asset is dropping on the daily, then it doesn't really help now, does it? So this is just something to watch. You know, I don't know. That's one of the things that made me excited about being an advisor for Delta Finance, is that I want to see more behind the scenes, like how much is done by these teams as far as like what they allocate from the revenues. Because these guys have a lot of different types of revenues, right? It's why I was so excited about this asset pre-launch. I want to know more about how they allocate that towards buybacks, towards burns, all that good stuff, so that they can actually stabilize price action. So again, DeFi is all a big freaking experiment. We're all trying to figure it out. But me personally, I am very surprised to see this chart looking so bad, with the fact that they do have all these different revenue initiatives. So we will keep an eye on Titan. It is breaking my heart, but it is what it is. Now, Titano, you guys have been asking me to cover Titano a little bit. And look, I guess we'll start with the good, and then I'm going to tell you the bad. I'm just going to be honest. Nothing against the team. I don't want to be a futter. But look, first things first, it has stabilized for sure since this low of June 18th. No doubt, 1000% it has stabilized, which is, for a rebase protocol, is a beautiful thing to see. That's huge, guys. And that is really good to see, right? Because, you know, with these protocols, if price action stabilizes, it's a beautiful thing. So that's good. And they have their partnership with Liquid Capital. They have their DEX. I believe they're going to have, or their Launchpad, or is it Launchpad and DEX? I guess it's both, right? So they have all this happening, and that's what's kind of, I think, saved things and made this chart basically stop dropping the way it was, right? Because it was pretty bad. So I will say that is the good news. So if you want the hopium, there it is. There's your hopium, guys. There's the hopium, the Liquid Capital partnership, and then the DEX and Launchpad. That's the hopium. But I just, you know, I can't tell anyone, yeah, you should buy some. And when they ask me, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, but when people ask me for my 2 cents or what I'm going to do, I give it. And look, guys, I'm not going to buy any Titano. It's just, you know, I think that their tokens double I can't remember, like every 40 days. Man, they just didn't get ahead of the inflation fast enough. And we'll see if any project does, right? I mean, maybe Titan, they're trying to do everything they can. I think their burn wallet, what is it, like 17% or maybe more by now. So even when the project or the protocol is trying to do everything in their power to battle inflation, maybe they can't, I don't know. It's still so early on. All I see is that projects are coming to the front with all these different ideas of how they're going to battle that big elephant in the room. And yeah, with Titano, I just think that even though the chart looks like it's stabilizing, I am personally going to pass on Titano. So I hope that today's video was a fun one. Let me know in the comments what you want me to cover. I've noticed most of you guys tell me in the DMs what you want me to cover. get in there in the comments and tell me. It helps with this silly YouTube algorithm so much. The YouTube algorithm doesn't even like crypto to begin with, so anything you guys can do with helping me out in the comments goes a long way. And thank you so much for all the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.